No, I think they just slowed.
For the bridge.
When it comes to the biggest and the baddest, rhinos could easily take top spot were it not for the elephants. But here are 30 encounters that could prove otherwise. Let us begin. These people find themselves in a tough situation as a rhino hurtles their way, galloping almost as they reverse their car, trying to run away from it and its sharp horn. The driver does a good job keeping the car steady and stable as she reverses back. Amazingly, even at this speed, the animal still keeps up the charge. Then they catch a lucky break when the rhino suddenly changes direction and goes into the bushes on its right. The driver lets go of the pedal and relaxes, as do the tourists. Once these guys start charging, stopping them isn't an easy task. Blocking the road, this huge armored rhino becomes a spectacle for everyone to stop and watch as it looks around after coming out of the Chitwan National Park in Nepal. Although everyone is dangerously close to the animal, it seems quite used to all this. The animal goes for a stroll and acts as blended in with the people and surroundings as you would see a cow in the countryside. Nobody seems to be worried about the animal at all. Given that its horn is shaved or broken, it is still a force to be reckoned with. At the end, the animal just goes back around and stands over a patch of grass, probably contemplating whether or not it would like to eat. In an amazing movie-like scene, these 3 cars run away from an incoming danger, and that danger is a fully grown rhino hot on their tails. This car reverses to the side for a quick escape, and they manage to save themselves from the animal's wrath. Here is the view from the cars that are being chased, and that animal is on a revenge run, it seems. It gets super close, and you can even hear its breath at this point. The guy in the hoodie must have been scared out of his skin. The angry rhino stays there until the very end, and these guys not only got to experience the anger of one, but also got to see it super up close and personal. Imagine if there was a dead end at the front. They would have been toast. Now this is what you call a sticky situation right there. It almost seems like a scene from a cartoon, but this is real. This boy is hiding behind a tree, trying to hide and take cover from the animal which stands 2 feet away and is probably angry. It walks over to the other people who also start taking cover behind trees, but the rhino is fully invested in the person holding the camera. And he is not feeling safe at all right now. It keeps its head low and fixates on him as it approaches. The rhino begins walking away, and now the people can have a sigh of relief and continue on their foot safari, knowing that one of the biggest dangers they could come across has passed. The cameraman, however, still follows the animal, making sure it doesn't stop. Some people have pet cows, some people have pet goats and even elephants. But this guy decided to keep a pet rhino with him, who's walking with him down the road. Everything looks so normal at this point, and even the people around them don't seem much amazed. If that thing were to get angry or startled by someone, imagine the chaos it would bring down on this place. It would be a lone stampede. Here is an open safari park where the animals roam free, and the biggest ones there are rhinos. These guys are super massive when you compare them with the buffaloes running in front of them, and they are heading right towards this car.
Nope.
When they come close, the keeper uses his car to block them from each other, and rightfully so. Just look at that massive horn. That could skewer their car. And that Land Rover is built for punishment.
What you doing? Shouting at them?
The ranger tries his best to keep the large bull occupied, and it seems to be working, because that guy is just looking for trouble. Because of the younglings around? Or maybe it was because of the bright red color of the car.
That way she's gonna stop him. She's stopping them.
Finally, the bull goes around, thanks to the brave ranger who put himself in between them and the danger. A pair of them are seen running up behind this tourist jeep, and they all seem to enjoy the sight, until the animals come really close. We know for a fact that they must be very anxious. Behind the animals is the ranger who had them running this way.
Check, they're following us. And there's a guard coming behind them.
The animals show their impressive stamina as they keep running and running after a very long while without showing any signs of fatigue.
To get up after us. Yeah.
After slowing down for a small bridge, the animals start galloping again and are still able to keep up with the jeep. The poor ranger who provoked them to run this way is left way behind at this point.
Oh, they slowed down for the bridge.
Tired now.
No, I think they just slowed.
Slowed for the bridge. Had a cat.
Everywhere the tourists go, the animals turn with them and are in no mood of giving up the chase so easily.
Well, they're not so good at taking corners.
Jogging in the morning.
It just goes to show how resilient these animals can be, and how difficult it can be to divert their attention once they are focused on something. This safari plan goes haywire when a rhino starts taking its anger out on the car, with its head buried right inside the side of the vehicle. The animal is so strong it moves the car around, and rangers use slingshots to try to divert the animal's attention, but in vain. The driver tries to drive away, but it is too late at this point. The car has been damaged badly and won't be starting anytime soon. The rhino pushes it away itself as all the rangers run after it, trying to get it off the car any way they can. Next time, just trust the Range Rovers and Toyotas, okay? These people film as a gigantic bull rhino sizes them up and goes around the bush for a proper run-up. It taunts them a little, which makes the people want to start moving. However, as soon as they start moving, the rhino charges and hits the side of their car. Sometimes staying still does make a difference. On the other side of the spectrum, rhinos can also be pretty chill animals, as this young one shows these tourists that a rotten apple does not mean you should throw away the whole barrel. Some rhinos are good, too. Mind you, this is still an adolescent rhino.
Hello, Lily. Hi. How are you? Hey? Come on.
Would you risk petting a rhino like this, with its horn right up in your face? While on a safari, these people encountered the rare armored rhino, and at first the animal acts very timidly and runs away from the car and jogs alongside it. Due to their poor vision, these guys are unable to tell friend from foe properly until they get up close. However, this does not mean they will always run with their tails between their legs. This guy, although he ran away at first, stops, lets the car come in range, and starts charging towards the Jeep, prompting the driver to make a run for it. These guys may look slow, but their hefty build does not mean they lack speed at all. This black rhino, who is covered in brown mud, sized up this car for a match of intimidation. He comes out of the bush, slowly moving forward, but with his eyes and horn fixated on the vehicle. The animal knows that it has to do something about this. It tilts its head down and starts moving faster towards the car until it is right in front of it. If it looked small at first, now it might look like a proper unit of an animal. Something spooks the animal and it bolts to the side. The animal comes back again and does the exact same thing again. However, this time he gives off a little warning to the people by doing a series of mock charges, and that got the ranger going.
Hey! 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 Hey!
These guys are like ticking time bombs and could do anything in seconds. These guys are actually running away from a couple of rhinos who are giving chase after them. Although it might seem like a slow chase, these animals are actually conserving their stamina to keep going for as long as they can. That driver better book it, because once they are out of sight, they will be out of mind. In Chichuan National Park, a group of tourists in this car stumble upon a rhino that was hiding behind the tall grass, and the car stops right in front of the animal, which is already trying to read what is happening. The animal moves in closer, giving everyone a full view of itself as they take pictures. It is almost as if the animal is posing for them, and it moves cautiously, trying its best not to make too much sound. Imagine driving up a safari road to see a big rhino running your way. That happened to this fortunate couple, and the woman could not help herself from stressing out. Who could blame her?
Oh my god, Niall! Oh my god, Niall! Niall! Oh.
This ranger got to take in the experience of a lifetime. He sits silently and motionless upon a rock as a mother and child duo of rhinos approach him. We all know how these mothers are when they have their child with them, but this one is quite the opposite. Here's another look at the encounter we saw earlier, but this time the car is finally working, and the massive rhino is still behind the car as it is barely working. The driver is trying his best to get going, but that's about all she has in her.
Oh my god!
Alto por favor todos, por favor. Por favor amigos. Uy, no puedo creerlo.
The Rangers are also hot on their tail, as if they're trying to get the animal off the car's back so it can drive safely. But it looks like they're having a lot of trouble of their own, too.
No, pero claro, la vamos a tirar. Amiga, no avances, amiga, no avances. No manches, graben eso, por favor, graben eso.
Almost at dusk, these guys witness a rhino as it witnesses them back and is becoming visibly irritated. It charges at them, but thankfully that was a mock charge and the animal stops at a distance. After that, the animal becomes a bit more bold and starts coming closer and closer with every charge it makes, kicking up dust and giving everyone a few extra thoughts.
Oh boy. Hey.
After turning around, the animal tries going in for a second round and charges back at the car again, this time being more serious and getting closer. You can see the air being pushed out of this guy's nostrils as the animal charges. Just when everyone thought it was over, the rhino comes back for more after seeing that one of the cars is still here. The ranger, thankfully, shouts and lets the animal know who's the boss before it finally takes off.
Stop! Hey! Come on!
Now here is something extreme. The safari car that you see here is about to get totaled as the driver makes the mistake of going right up to the animal while it is angry. It begins smashing the car to bits and rolling it over. Never underestimate the power of a rhino. The animal picks up the car, rolls it around, moves it, and rotates it like a rag doll, leaving absolutely no chance for the car to survive. The driver inside must be having the time of his life. Another car rolls in, and this car is a lot bigger than the other one, and it finally scares away the rhino. Ivan Carter is the name of this brave man who had a solo encounter with a rhino who caught him perched up in a tree. Although he was well hidden, the rhino sensed his presence and went right for Ivan. The animal knocks a part of the tree down with its sharp horn.
Now that was too close for comfort.
Ivan climbs right to the top and barely manages to dodge the horn, which was going to hit him if he was any slower. Later, he talks us through his little encounter with death.
Of being so cantankerous, but as you can see, he's just asserting his authority as soon as he feels like he's got that authority, and he realizes we're human.
These people rolled right up to the rhinos, who were simply grazing in front of them, and one of them decided to teach these guys some manners about rolling up on someone while they're eating, especially unannounced. After nudging the car multiple times, the animal walks back and comes in for another charge, and this time puts a little more effort into those strikes. That horn is easily capable of puncturing the tires. The big guy backs off and finally walks his own way home, leaving the tourists alone finally, but not without warning them that they are at his mercy. This little car found itself stuck around rhinos that are slowly closing in on it. The red color is also a very prime target for these animals, as we saw before. The animals push each other aside, causing the one at the front to panic. And then the obvious happens. The rhino drives his horn into the car and gives everyone a little heart attack before moving on with his family. The owner comes out of his car and he can be seen smiling away the pain he has yet to deal with when he gets to the shop with a small hole in his car.
Probably felt bad.
Yeah. He felt bad?
No, you felt bad.
No.
When it knocked.
Oh, okay. But I think he can smash a car. Yeah?
On the road, these cars encounter two wild rhinos that seem to have grazed their way onto the pavement. Everyone stops to let these guys do whatever they want without disturbing them, and the animals stick to the side of the road, eating grass calmly. These heavy fellows are being filmed very closely as they graze their day away in very lazy fashion. But it is about to get a bit exhilarating for them. They start to take an interest in the people who are filming them and look at them with unclear intent. One of the two starts approaching them, calmly but with caution, and gets as close as it can without harming itself or getting afraid. The other one joins in on the staring competition, and both of these animals look like a two-animal fort on their own, standing like this. After standing in for a while, right in their faces with flies covering their heads, the two animals turn around and start to leave, giving these people the time of their lives. Here is another street that has been overtaken by a rhino that is bigger than the car that is right beside it. Here's a little perspective on how big these guys can actually get. The rhino simply ignores the lights and commotion and peacefully walks down the road. People walk right along with the animal, and the rhino doesn't seem to care about what's going on. The tourist who is recording is surprised. While it is just another day for the people of Chitwan, Nepal.
All right.
Here is yet another rhino in the same place, enjoying the company of people as it minds its own business, and as do the humans. It's not every day that you see a rhino walk amongst humans like a cat strolling through a fish market. As the animal grazes, people start to collect around it, locals and tourists alike, and get close to the animal to capture pictures. Kids and adults alike come up to the animal to pet it and take as many pictures with it as they can before a moment like this slips away. This right here might be the bravest man you have seen in this video. The rhino tries to intimidate the group, but the ranger, who is dressed in local attire, also has a trick up his sleeve to overcome the animal and overwhelm it. Later he is seen standing against two rhinos that are planted shoulder to shoulder to face this person together. The man keeps his footing and does not budge from his place. This confuses the animals, who start breaking morale and become more and more uninterested in the man and the people behind him. Now this time, instead of the streets, these guys from Nepal stumbled upon a rhino that was strolling in the jungle with them. It shares the path with them, so the wise amongst them tells the others to give the animal as much room as you can. As they stroll back with their guitar, which was probably for a chill evening camp night, the rhino makes its way further and closer to them, and all they can do is walk backwards. Finally, their day is not entirely ruined, and the animal walks away to the side, opening their way back to the campsite. They watch as the rhino walks away, its back towards them while grazing. They take advantage and walk past it quickly.
Let's go. Young boy.